What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Serenix here, and today marks a new day. A new journey, shall I say. Now for a long time, I've been wanting to start actually doing YouTube full-time and uploading videos regularly. But, stuff happens and I just haven't done it, and I really want to, and it's really interesting. I love to make videos. It's really fun. Even if no one really watches them or they get dislikes, it's still fun to do it just because, I can look back on it when I'm older and be like, yeah, hey, I did a thing. But, today's not about that. Today, I'm going to talk about how I got into World of Warcraft and why it means so much to me. So, let's begin. So it all started about, let's see, late, Wrath of the Lich King, and early Cataclysm. So my mother had this boyfriend who we moved in together and stuff, and I've known him my whole life basically. And he played this cool game called World of Warcraft, and he was into it. He loved it, and he played it a lot, obviously, because he was unemployed due to a disability. So he really had no job, so he had something to do with his life, and World of Warcraft was there. And now, he got me started in the game when I was about 7 or 8 years old. Yeah, I'm 16, so maybe my timeline's a little bit off, but it was a long time ago, shall I say. And I got started in the game, and I remember my first character, the longest I can remember actually, was a level. It was an orc warlock named Warlack, and actually he created it for me. But I remember begging to get Wrath of the Lich King so I can play it and level up. And as a little 7-year-old, it was cute. And I thought it was a cool game. I remember begging in trade chat for 1 gold, and that was just awesome. And I remember getting that 1 gold, and I was like, oh my god, I did it. I got a gold. And nowadays, I'm sitting around with like 500, 600k gold, and I'm just like, oh, I'm broke. But, that's not the point. But I remember getting into the game, and I think I had 1 character or 2 or 3. I was an alcoholic as a little 7-year-old, because I got bored very quick. So I had like a troll warrior, I think, and I think my first character was a warrior, and but no, but I really didn't start playing up until late. No, it was like mid-Mists of Pandaland, because I took about a 2-year break, and I had wanted to get back into the game, but I just didn't have a computer, because a lot of stuff in my life had happened. My mother moving away being one, and losing contact with her ex, after they broke up, and I haven't seen my mother in around 6-7 years, but that has nothing to do with this. But really, I think World of Warcraft, I got started, and there's nothing really to explain. I started playing it back in Wrath, like I said, early Cata. Then I stopped because I couldn't buy a computer. I was freaking 8, 9 years old. 7, 8, whatever. But that just happens, and I came back to it. I begged my father, my dad, to buy WoW, and since we got a new computer, little laptop, which sucked, but I played it on about 20 FPS, and I bought Mists of Pandaland, and I got him to buy it too, and he played it with me. But he's not very social either, so he doesn't like MMOs. And he's not really into them like I am. So I started playing back then. Back when I was I started playing WoW when I was in 3rd grade. Okay, and I'm a sophomore in high school now, which is 10th grade. So I started playing back then, and then I took a break after 4th grade. So I played for like a year. I think I only got to like level 50, which for a 7-8-year-old, that's an accomplishment. That really is. Because I'm trying to level up on a freaking Wrath of the Lich King server, even now, it's a challenge. But, I think I had, my Tommy, which is the boyfriend's name, help me out with that, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think I would have made it. So, yeah. But, then my dad quit around level 20, because he just got bored and didn't like it. So I kept playing. I remember him paying for my game time up until about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. So at that point, he bought Miss Pandaria for me. That's it. And shortly after, I met my friend, one of my best friends now, actually, who I actually have met in real life, and he lives really fairly about an hour away from me, which is really surprising. Because I met him on World of Warcraft. I remember going into Orgrimmar, and seeing him and Exalucard, which is Dracula X backwards, by the way, who I actually did befriend also. Their names were Colin and Noah. So we played together, those Three Musketeers. I was a total noob still. And I mean, even now I'm still pretty noobish, but what can you do? I mean, I'm a raid leader now, and I run my own guild, and I think I'm decent at the game. But that doesn't have anything to do with that. And then I remember leveling up and getting my first character on my new account, which my dad had bought the game for, which I still have actually. Which I might show some clips here in a minute, and maybe get some old screenshots, pop them up in here. This is more of a audio video, but yeah. So I remember leveling him up. It was a Tauren druid named Torrento. I think I had a couple characters before that too, but that's the first character I wanted to stick with. And actually, I only got him to level 55 to unlock the Death Knight, and then I leveled the Death Knight. Got it to level I think I got to like 80, and then I gave up. And then I went and created a paladin. Now this is the time when I was still playing with Noah and Colin, and then I had made a school buddy named Benny, who I'm still best friends with. And we still go to school together. And you may have seen him in some of my other videos, and he had bought the game because I was like, hey, you should get this game, and he was like, he still denies to this day that I got him into the game, but I did. And then he played on Alliance on a human hunter, though. We got to about level 17, leveling the other. I remember flying around in Arathi Basin, that's Arathi Highlands, that's it, on my Horde character looking for him, and I didn't understand cross servers back then, so I was like, oh, well, this isn't going to work. So I went out to the server Daggerspine, and created me a hunter. I believe, yeah, I was a hunter. And he was playing on his little character named Golden Rain, and that's when the Golden Galaxy, Golden everything started. So we got to about level 20, and then I soon was like, hey, after begging and begging, because he's like, no, I don't want to do all those levels again, I told him, hey, go onto the Horde, and let's create another character, and I'll level up with you again, or help you level up on my main, which was my Death Knight at the time. And I introduced him to Noah and Colin, and we joined their guild, Deathco, which is actually still running, even though it's more of a family guild, and there's about 50 people have been online within like a year through 3 years, so really it's inactive, but it's still cool to have it there. And I remember leveling up, and I ran into some problems with Noah. He was an asshole. And I was a little crybaby, I guess. I mean, now looking at it, it's not really that big of a deal. I think I just overreacted to a lot of stuff, and then I was going to run. My timeline of this video, by the way, is going like back and forth a lot, because I get off track really easily. This is how I started WoW and my story of WoW, basically in one. So yeah. Getting back on topic, sorry, I got off track again. Getting back on topic of Benny and me leveling up on Hellscream, which is the server I started on. Actually, I do remember now, my first server ever was Maeve, or Maev. That I leveled up with Tommy, which is my mother's ex, who is actually one of my best friends still. He's an awesome guy. He may have a couple of years on me, but age and friendships doesn't really matter in my opinion. It just matters on the person, their personality. He is one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met, and without him, I don't know what I would do. I guess he sort of fills in the gap of my mother leaving. But we talk almost every day, and he is one of the best people ever. It's just one of those people. If you're into stuff like I am, like computers and games, like he's one of those people that you're gonna love. He's really friendly. He's awesome, and even my friend Benny likes him. We play some games together too. Now like what the fuck? There's a 42, 45-year-old playing games with 16 and 17-year-olds. I mean, a lot of people think it's weird, and I did at first, but I mean, really, it's not that weird. But yeah, I stopped talking to. Sorry, off track. I'm telling you my life story basically. So we leveled up a character on Hellscream together. I made a female paladin named Holy Blossom, and he made a Tauren druid named Golden Galaxy, and Colin made a warlock, blood elf warlock named something, and my friend Noah made a character. I can't really remember the name of it, but it wasn't his main because he already had that leveled up. But we all four leveled up, and I remember hitting level 90. It was such a good experience, hitting level 90, my first level capped character ever, and it was a big day. It was. And I'm looking back at it now, it's amazing, and I still have the character actually, but I did change the name and the gender. Now it's Necro Grim, a male blood elf paladin. But so we leveled him up, and I remember hitting, Benny actually hit level 90 before I did, and Noah and Colin had already had level 90s, so I mean, they were better than game, and to debate whether Noah's still better than me, but things happen. So after hitting level 90, I remember it was such a great feeling and just relief that was. And then I think I was in the guild on Hellscream too. After that, I remember him making me a sword, or no, it was a mace. One of the 496 eye level maces. And be like, hey, here's a present for hitting your first level 90. And I don't think I still have that mace, but that would be cool if I did. But that's one of my most precious memories of that game, in that time period. Shortly after that, I had met, I had left, I had made a new character on Hellscream again, and leveled him up and joined another guild, actually, called the Lights Despite. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, Lights Despite, same thing. And, I was still really annoying, and, was clueless in the game, and there was this, everyone else hated me, but there was this one guy, named Josiah, and he, once again, is one of my best friends. He is actually from where my mom moved to, and which is strange, because I went up there, and, I mean, who would have known? But he helped me, all the time, and, he had just started the game a little bit before me, but he was still willing to help, because he knew a lot more about it than I was, obviously, because he was older, he's about 20 now, so, no, yeah, he's 20, so he's about 3-4 years older, but, so he had more experience and could comprehend more than I could, as a little, however old I was back then, but, yeah, so we shortly became, really good friends. So I've known Noah, Colin, and, Josiah for about 4 or 5 years now, and, they are by far the most amazing people I have met online ever, and, I still talk to them regularly. Actually, Noah and Colin have came back to the game, and Colin had created a character on my server, on my main server, and joined my guild. And then I went back onto my first level 90 ever, and joined Deathco again, for the first time in about 3 years, because they all stopped right on the launch of WoD, including Benny. Benny still hasn't came back to the game, but I want to try to get him back. We all do, so we can all level up together and have a happy, big, weird online / IRL family again in World of Warcraft. But it's really awesome to look back and be like, wow, how this game would change my life. And really it has. It has changed it so much. I have met thousands, hundreds of thousands of pretty amazing people and not so amazing people. But, it's MMO, so what can you expect? But, people say that games are just something to pass time, and I don't believe that World of Warcraft is one of these things. Growing up, I remember before World of Warcraft, I just went outside and played around, and, even now, now actually for the past year, I really don't go outside much. I'm not fat, and I'm far from healthy, but, it's not like I don't know where my limits are and when I actually need sunlight. But you couldn't tell that if you looked at me. But no, World of Warcraft definitely is one of those games that you may put down for a little while, but you never truly quit. Such as Heals versus Babyface, or there was some warrior YouTuber who also quit. But seeing people like that leave the game, it's like, wow, all their like they've played a lot longer than I have, obviously, and someone who really has impacted my life that's a WoW YouTuber is my computer just went out, sorry, because I hadn't touched it for 16 minutes, but is Asmongold. He has a lot of I guess he's not the best role model, but I think he's a pretty cool guy from his videos. Obviously, people are different on YouTube, in real life and stuff, but he's a pretty cool guy, and I've been following him since he had like 20k subs or so. But it has nothing to do with that. So I started playing. I kept playing after everyone else quit. In WoD. I did create a few characters. I created one on Tichondrius, a warrior, actually. That's where my warrior started. And I did kill Garrosh Hellscream on Flex. Basically got carried. Because I remember, like, staying up all night on school night. I was like, oh my god. Because it was one of the last chances I would have to actually get the boa weapons and stuff that are no longer attainable from Garrosh Hellscream. So I had to do that, and I remember gearing that guy up and doing some stuff, and I went to Tichondrius because of Josiah. And then he shortly just didn't play on Tichondrius, so, that happened. So once again, I was alone in the fray, shall I say. And then I went back to Hellscream for WoD. Leveled up my Paladin for the first character to 100. Shortly stopped playing him. But then I went over to after leveling up a few characters, I went over to kill Jaden. And that's where Tommy came back into the picture. We had started talking again after about 2 or 3 years. I know it sounds like a relationship, but we started talking again over Facebook, actually, and then I got him to buy WoD and get back into the game, and we played for quite a while, him and his brother, and then we had met other people along the way. We carried a guild called Ghouls Gone Wild, with ghouls spelled wrong, but no one cared. Overall, I killed Jaden, and I made a warrior. Actually, no, I transferred because I was so lazy. I don't want to level up another warrior. He was like level 64, so I transferred him over to, from Hellstream over to kill Jaden, and then I leveled up from there, and I remember hitting 100 and first attempt to raid lead, and we did high maul and stuff, but it was really bad. Now if I went back and tried to do it, I could probably do it. I do it every 3 times a week for 3 hours a night, but definitely not an easy task. It takes someone, it really does, and if without my officers, I don't think I could do it, because it is a lot on your plate to do all that. But no, so we did do that, and we met one person I'm not actually in touch with really much anymore, because she doesn't really play anymore, and she totally different times than me. She lives in Canada, or no, it's Alaska, so it's a lot different. But I met her. Her name's Jessie, and she's pretty cool. Then we met Dan. And Dan and Jesse became good friends too because of us bringing them together. And then I remember I still talk to Dan, maybe like, I talked to him yesterday, but maybe like once a month, two times a month, I don't know. We don't really talk much, just because he doesn't play WoW much either anymore, really. Sad part, none of my friends who I initially started playing the game with, Tom, he doesn't really play anymore due to financial issues. I was like, hey, you could buy Legion, I'll buy you game time, game tokens in game. But he has a lot on his plate right now, with health and things, so I can't really make him. But Noah did come back, so I have some of the old guys back, Nolan and Colin, but I don't really play with either of them really much anymore either, because they're all on Horde, except for Colin. He does have an Alliance character, like I said earlier, but really, I mean, I'm alone now. So through WoD, I joined a couple guilds. I transferred my war. I was raiding with another, like, after everyone had quit Ghouls Gone Wild. Over on Kill Jaden, I had started raiding solo-y and like pugs and stuff, and I got into a guild group for HFC, so I didn't raid Blackrock at all when it was current. So I had to get onto one of those groups, and it was for, I think it was still on Kill Jaden. And they're like, hey, you're not that good right now, but see, back in WoD was when I started actually getting into the game and knowing how to play it, and it took me basically over half the expansion to get good at the game and know about almost everything about it, but, things happen, and that's just how that rolled, but, so they taught me everything I needed to know about the raid, and I shortly joined their guild, and that guild was called Dysfunctional Veterans. That was it. And they were really cool guys. I still talk to one of them. But soon after, I started pugging again, while in their guild, still raiding with them, because they were going really slow at the time. They were all war, you could tell by the name, Dysfunctional Veterans, war people, so they had jobs and stuff, obviously really important ones, so they went out to sea a lot, and it was really unreliable. So shortly after, I started pugging in, like I said, and Heroic this time. And I was okay. I pulled decent damage, and I knew the mechanics and stuff. And this was for a guild over on Azul called Dream. Now, Dream is it went okay. Long story short, I quit that guild, transferred my character over without saying a word to anyone else on Kill Jaden, and went to Azul, joined the guild, and started raiding with them until the end of the expansion. And their raid times were really bad. It was like midnight through 3 a.m. On school nights. So that was really bad. But that's besides the point. So I raided with them for the rest of WoD, and went to Heroic, and then they never did Mythic, so I had the Pug Mythic, and I got into a Mythic guild that I just pugged with while still in Dream, so it was okay. But while in Dream, I had met Scott. While in Dream, on Azul, I met Scott. Now Scott, he's a questionable character. But I still play with him, and he actually is in my guild. I created the guild. So long story short, ended up not leveling my WoD character anymore after getting my legendary to max and all that crap, and like 740 eye level. So I abandoned him, and then I had stopped talking to Scott for a bit, and then Scott came on for Legion around about a month or two before launch, and we started doing stuff, talking, and he was like, hey, so there's this guild over on Ice Crown, it's a couple real life buddies, and they're gonna start up raiding, and so we joined them. I made a character over there after a long thought of it, because having your warrior, you spend a lot of time on, at least 100 days in game. I know, well, maybe it was about 45, but it was a lot. And then I power leveled my little warrior again. I like warriors, as you can tell, over there, and it started out as a female. Again, I'm named Hyrulia, and we joined that guild called, actually, I don't even remember what that guild's called. Wow. Anyways, we joined that guild, and Scott knew the GM in real life, and obviously he had some real issues, and he was totally really competitive. He was just overwhelmingly into himself, and he thought he was the greatest person ever. Now, mind picture where we are on timeline here. We're about 6 months ago. So this is right before the launch of Legion, and this is recorded on the 2nd of February 2017, by the way. So maybe about back in August, maybe a little bit before, and we started raiding with them once Emerald Nightmare launched, and they seemed okay, before that, and up a little bit into the raid. And then Scott had created a character called Dreamer as a Holy Paladin, and I created a Night Elf Warrior, obviously, on Ice Crown / Malagos. And then we had got to talking about what we should do, because it wasn't turning out too well in that guild. It was going pretty badly, actually. We wiped 50 times on normal Eye of Il'gynoth. Now, this has nothing to do with us leaving. It had a little bit to do, but they wanted me to switch specs, basically change my whole playstyle of the game, and they wanted Scott to go DPS when he was healing, and really, that GM just... I don't even know where to begin about him. Like, one of the worst people ever to be a GM. But me and Scott left the guild, so they actually kicked Scott because he logged on and said something about all this crap, and so I left because he was the only reason I was in that guild. And then I thought about, hey, maybe I should go back to my Horde character, and then me and Scott got to talking again, and it was like, hey, maybe we should make a guild. So this is where present day comes in. We made a guild about... maybe... it was about right... It hadn't been that long after Emerald Nightmare had released. Maybe about a month or two. No, it had to be like a month. It was a month. And we had made a guild called Sacred. We tried to pick some names, but Sacred became the name of the guild. And then I made the guild, gave Scott lead, and we started running the guild together. And then Scott, we recruited, got into raiding, had issues with recruitment, still do, but we're getting a lot better, and had issues with people showing up. We merged with another guild, and basically lost our whole raid team because people just weren't showing up, and I was getting fed up with it. But then I guess Scott's computer, aka, broke, so he was gone up until about a month ago, so I was left all alone again. This is before Noah came back, and Colin, by myself in the massive World of Warcraft. And very hard to start a guild by yourself. It really is, especially if it's a raiding guild. And but I stuck through, and I recruited a ton of people, and without Scott, we got about to I think we got to we got into hero. No, it was just Norm TOV, I think, and Heroic EN. And a lot of stuff as it went down, but Scott came back about a month ago, right? And so now we're raiding. Scott has some anger issues, shall we say, and he doesn't get along with certain people in the guild. But what can you do? It's okay. But now we're raiding normal Nighthold, and still doing everything before that up until normal Nighthold, aka normal EN, normal Heroic EN, and normal TOV, then Nighthold every week to gear up the lower people. But yeah, that's where my story of WoW really, present day. Now, obviously, I left a ton of crap out, drama. I have some funny stories. Maybe I'll tell some of those later videos. But this is basically a long, 30-minute-ish video, on how I got into WoW, and my whole story of WoW on a timeline that is very, very messed up in very many ways. Just not in the right order at all, not chronologically set, but I tried to keep it as best as possible. So yeah. As I said earlier, if you're still here, this this marks a new day. I have written down a ton of crap I want to do, and I really sorry if I don't keep to this, but I do want to get into YouTube, and it's very hard, extremely excruciatingly hard. I've given up on Twitch, just because Twitch is even harder to get onto. Just because, no one watches you, and unless you have someone, a Twitch streamer who's a friend, who can host you, or you get someone miraculously into a chat, or you just stream every single day nonstop, even then, it's very unlikely that you're going to get popular. So I gave up on that, for right now at least. And I want to post at least a video every 2 days on my channel, Serenex here. And I got a lot of videos in place, and a lot of great ideas, a lot of top 5s actually, just because they're the easiest to make. But this is the first one that's not a top 5, and it's one on obviously how I started WoW. So it's one of the real talks and just stuff like that. But yeah, guys. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. I know this is a very, actually it was pretty emotional. I haven't like teared up or anything, obviously, but it brings back a lot of memories. And I do remember actually crying not too long ago, about, actually Noah, because just remembering back in the day how life used to be and how it is now. A lot of stuff has happened in the past 7-ish years. And, just some stuff you can't forget, and it really just sticks with you. So yeah, guess the whole point of this video was to explain to you how I got into World of Warcraft and what it means to me, and the story and timeline of my WoW experience up until this point. So if there's anything else you have any questions about in the comment section down below, please do leave it. Leave hate comments out, please. If you don't like the video, just dislike it. That's how you can show your show that, please. I mean, I know that's probably not gonna happen, but whatever. But yeah, guys, for the 3rd time now, I think this is the end of this video. Once again, if you enjoy it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'll be like, hey, this guy sucks. Just kidding, don't do that. Oh, I cry. Just kidding, I won't cry. I will get a face cam soon. I do have one right now actually. And I will start doing face cam videos. But maybe I'll do a face reveal for 100 subs if I ever get there, which will probably be a long time. But art videos too. Okay, I'm stalling. See you guys later. Serenex signing out. Bye-bye.